To get this service started, you need to remove these bolts and get the tub out. There's a connection to the little interior light there, so make sure you disconnect that. Much greater access to the engine. Now what we're looking for really is the spark plug, which is down here. Quite a long thread on these plugs. This looks okay, but certainly due for a change. So this is a specified plug for it, which you see is a NGK, and you can see the letters there, LMAR 8A-9. As you can see, there's quite a long thread. This is a 14mm screw here, and I don't actually have a plug socket, but I just use a deep socket. The access is good, so it's not really a problem. You don't need to catch it on a rubber or anything like that. You can just use a tube socket or a long socket, a deep socket rather, and you should get it out okay. So let's get the new one in. We'll check the gap and then we'll get the new one in. And you see the plug there. I would say just be very careful when you're putting this in, and I would do it by hand to get the thread started. There's not a deep tunnel there to guide you. The aperture is very open, so it would be easy to cross thread that. So just very gently start it by hand before you put your plug key or your socket on it. Back to that long thread again, that's us there. To access the air filters, we're going to have to remove these covers here, and it looks like we will need to pop out these little grommets, and then it's just, it'll be GIS fitted screws all the way around. Now, because I want to clean in here, I'm going to take the whole airbox off, which means removing this little clip here, the air duct. There's a bolt through here, and I've removed one from there, which makes the whole thing pretty loose. So there's also a vent in the back here, which we'll need to disconnect, and that should allow, well, it depends how far, yeah, it goes into the diff, so we'll just disconnect it there and see if we can get it off. And we have one more clip to remove, which is this one here. That just gives us a little bit room in here to clean things up a bit. You can see where the crud and the muck has been gathering. So we'll give that a little clean before we reassemble. I'll just remove the cover itself and we can see what we have inside. And as you can see, this filter here is badly needing changed. This filter in here also is badly needing changed. Well, it looks like to get access to this filter here, we need to remove this cover. Filter for actually the belt drive. This isn't for the engine itself, this is for this drive system. So this is a bigger GIS size screwdriver, and what I have to say is it doesn't quite, there's a little bit of rocking going on there with this one. This is the standard Phillips, and that seems to have a much more secure, tighter fit, so we'll go with that one. They're quite tight. Jesus. So we're up in this corner here. Get this cover away. So these are 8mm, these little bolts here. Well, as you can see, she's a bit of a state, but at least it's been doing its job, and in here is pretty clean. To change the diff oil here, there's a little drain plug there and the filler caps here, and it's approximately 150ml of 80/90. So let's get it drained. There we go. Looks pretty clean, which is a surprise because everything else in the bike is not. That's a plug refitted. To refill, you'll need a very small funnel. I'll just use this one here that seems to be a pretty good fit. And while we're at this side, we'll get the engine oil drained and the oil filter. Here's the oil filter housing here. These look like 8mm bolts, and this again will be a 12. Wow. And there is the oil filter. Using high flow, it's a HF141. I've just put a new seal in here, a new O-ring. So oil on this side, and it's 1500 cc's or 1.5 litre of 1040. And you should see the oil level coming up, so between the two marks here I'll put a little bit more on just to get it to nearer the upper mark. So I just bolted the airbox back up, put the little rubber grommets back in. I think it's easier just to do it in a 180, saves trying to lie under it to get those bottom screws. So let's get it on. Connectors one, so I've pushed that one on. I've pushed this one off just to get the clip up onto that, which we'll do shortly. So when you're fitting this airbox back in, as if you can see this cable here, just make sure that that's behind this part here, or you'll trap it, this ABS wire. So just make sure it's this side and not that side when you slide the box in. That's the box. There's only two screws, one there and one through there, two bolts, two 10mm heads, and that holds that on. So just the tub now. And it's just a case of getting these little bolts in.